Hello. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Have a pleasant good morning. Have a pleasant morning for all. I hope your health is good. Yes, I hope your health is good. So I'm back with another topic, right? In the strength of material, I've completed three chapters in the strength of material, that is stress, introduction, and SFD and BMD. And I hope that these three chapters are very clear to you. You are not having any problem in these three chapters. I hope you enjoyed the lecture of SFD and BMD, right? And you are not going to face any problem if you follow my lectures very clearly, very properly, right? Not even a single question will be stuck. You can solve each and every question of the SFD and BMD. Yes, I'm expecting that you will be solving it and you will get the result. Okay. So myself Abhishek sir, as you know, I've cleared the gate 5 times with good rank. Cleared the ESE pre mains with the final score of 637 after the interview. I've been teaching since 5 years in this field, right? And I've taken the 7 subjects in my career till now. That is strength of material, structural analysis, geotechnical engineering, open channel flow, right? Then your surveying is there, environmental and CPM part. So as you know that before we were working individually, now since we are working as a team now, so you can see my team. It consists of 8 members, right? With Ashwarya sir is there, then Chetan sir is there, Mrigan sir is there, Avinash sir is there, Shitish sir is there, right? Nitesh sir and Babulal sir is there. Okay. So before without wasting any time, let's start with our subject. Okay, so we have entered the chapter 4, that is stress transformation and principal stress. Okay, now if I talk about this chapter, then this chapter for most of the students very difficult to understand. The reason being they don't understand the basic, and that's why the chapter becomes difficult for them, right? So just a request for all, please share this link with your friends, invite more of your friends so that they can understand each and individual part of my subject, right? I know it's morning time, it's very difficult to let your friends come to this session, but it's a request that please come in the live session, because in the live session the way in which we communicate during the live chat, that is very different, and those who are doing that, they know. Okay, that's why we have some regular students, those are not leaving from 7 to 9, they're continuously studying at that point. Okay, so it's my guarantee that we come in the live session. I know most of you are doing the recorded session because of its morning time, but saying it very clearly, if you want to achieve something in the life, you need to sacrifice. And what is the biggest thing that you need to sacrifice? Yes, what is the biggest thing that you need to sacrifice? Your luxury, right? Then only you can think of success. And right now your luxury is your sleeping. You need to remove this sleeping habit. You need to change your sleeping habit. You need to attend the classes as much as you can so that you can get good score. Is it clear? Is this point clear? Right. So we are going to study the stress transformation principle stress. I am giving you guarantee. If you follow my lecture very clearly, if you follow my shortcuts very clearly, you are going to solve each and individual question of SFD and BMD. And that is your stress transformation and principal stress. Okay. So before starting the principal stress, I'm going to talk about what is stress transformation. What is stress transformation? What is stress transformation? Okay. So, what is this stress transformation? See, what is the stress transformation? See, we know that if suppose a 2D plane is there, right? In a 2D plane, there are two 2D planes. Okay. One plane can carry one normal and one shear. Yes. Similarly, other plane can carry one normal and one shear. Yes or no? So in the stress transformation, what we do, if on a two perpendicular plane, look at me. If at two perpendicular plane, okay, we know the value of normal and shear. Then the normal and shear stress. At any plane inclined at angle theta can be determined. That means let us say I want a plane at angle theta, okay, and there is some normal and shear. Getting the point? So this normal and shear can be found using the principle of stress transformation, using the concept of stress transformation. Is it clear? So what is stress transformation? What is stress transformation by definition? By definition, what is stress transformation? Just a minute. Yes, by definition, what is stress transformation? I'm writing it. If normal and shear stress, on two perpendicular planes. Okay, one more thing. I'm talking these perpendicular planes at a point. I'm talking these stresses at a point. I'm not talking for the entire body. Okay, so if normal and shear stress on two perpendicular planes are known, then normal and shear stress on any plane inclined at angle theta can be determined. Okay, so this process is referred as stress transformation. This process is referred as stress transformation. Okay, this process we are calling as stress transformation. Now, this stress transformation can be done in two ways. Okay, so one is the analytical method. We will be using the formulas and we'll get the stress values. And second is the graphical method, which is called as Mohr circle. Okay, so it can be done in two ways. First is your analytical method, and second is your graphical method, which we say as Mohr circle. See, in the strength of material, the biggest advantage is theory is very less, but there always for solving the numerical you need to do some theory, right? So very small theory part is that we are going to see. Okay, so graphical method we will be seeing after studying the principal stress. Okay, first we'll study the analytical method for stress transformation and principal stress, and then we'll study the graphical method. So this is the pattern I'm going to follow. Okay, so first of all I'm going to see the analytical method. Any doubt till now? Any doubt what is stress transformation? Any doubt what is stress transformation? Yes. Any doubt what is stress transformation? So those who have just joined, for them, what I'm saying that if the normal and shear stress on any plane which are perpendicular is known, then the plane that is inclined at an angle theta, I can determine the normal and shear. Right? And this process I'm defining as stress transformation. Okay. Now what I said, it can be done in two ways. One is the analytical method, second is the graphical method, right? So first I'm moving for the analytical method. Analytical method. Okay. So see here, if I take a structural element, suppose this is the structural element, okay, this structural element is subjected to loading of sigma x, sigma y. This horizontal is x, vertical I'm saying as y, and out of the plane is z. Okay, and it is also subjected to shear. This is tau x y. I already explained all this. And the other one is tau y x. Yes. Okay. Now these are the perpendicular planes. Yes or no? Let us say the thickness is t. Let us say the thickness is t. Okay, starting with the O point, let me give the labeling to this structural element A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, now in this particular part, I want to find the stress, normal and shear stress on a plane that is inclined at angle of theta with respect to vertical. Sir, in many books, what you are going to see that the theta that you are taking is taken with respect to the horizontal, and so because of that the formula is given different. So let me clear you that if you are following my notes, don't need to follow any other thing, right? My notes is sufficient for you. Is it clear? Don't follow any other thing, right? This is standard form of the ESE that I'm giving to you. Okay, just follow the notes, no need of anything else. Okay, so I want a shear, normal and shear stress on a plane that is, let us say it is G and here it is H. Okay, can you understand that? So now if I see the plane, then what you are going to see that can you understand this? Can you understand this? This is theta on the back side. I'm going to visualize everything for you. Should understand this. I will let you visualize each and everything. Just be patient. Okay. So this is sigma x, right? Here you can see that is tau xy. Above it is sigma y. Here you can see as tau yx. And you have been asked to find normal and shear on the plane that is inclined at angle theta. Let me give the name A, B, D, C, E. Sorry, it is your GH. Okay, so the normal and shear stress is given on the plane ABCD and GDCH, which is perpendicular to each other, right? And I want to find the normal and shear stress on the plane ABHG. Is this point clear to all? Is this point clear to all? Right? I will let you visualize each and everything. Don't worry. I will let you visualize each and everything. But is this clear to all? Is this point clear to all? I've cut the section from the cubical or cuboidal element and have shown you. Is this clear to all? Yes? Is it clear to all? Sure? Sure? Okay. Okay then. Okay then. So one thing that I will be using, which I'm writing over here, that is ADG. That is ADG. Okay. Here the angle is theta. So what I can write cos theta? What I can write cos theta? I can write cos theta as AD by AG. Yes or no? And what I write about sin theta? Sin theta I write as GD by AG. Yes or no? Okay, so we are writing cos theta as AD by AG and sin theta as GD by AG. Okay, so now any doubt in this diagram? If you have any doubt, it's very difficult to let you understand the future part. Yes, any doubt in this diagram? Any doubt in this diagram? Any doubt in this diagram? Yes, please ask. Any doubt? Any doubt in this diagram, sir? Any doubt in this diagram, sir? Sure, it's clear. It's clear for all. It's clear for all. Yes. Okay. See then. See then. Now I want to find. Let me zoom out so that it will be easy for me to explain you. Now I want to find normal stress first. I want to find normal stress first. Okay. So to find the normal stress, see, we know that we are dealing with the equilibrium body, yes or no? So when I'm dealing with the equilibrium body in 2D, net force in one direction is equal to 0. Then in perpendicular to that, the net force will also be equal to 0. Yes or no? So what I'm doing, I'm drawing the free body diagram forces. Okay, the forces that is acting on this structural element which I've cut for you. Okay, just look at this structural element. Just look at this structural element. So what do you see? If I say this horizontal X, vertical Y, and in the same plane, see, I'm talking this XY plane only, right? But in this XY plane, I'm not talking this is a Z direction. No, it is not a Z direction. This is not a Z direction. This normal, you can understand that this normal is also in the XY plane only. But it is not in the X direction or in the Y direction, but inclined to X and Y in the same plane. It is in XY plane. The line which I drawn apart from X and Y is not in the Z plane. Is it clear? Is not in a Z plane, sir. Look at the diagram. Look at the diagram, you will understand. If you see this, if I say this is one plane that is ABCD, look at me. This is one plane that is ABCD and this is another plane. So I want the angle at a plane. If you project, it will be in XY plane only. Getting the point? But it is at an angle to X and Y. Okay. So this line that I have drawn apart from X and Y is not in a Z plane, but inclined to X and Y. Is it clear? It is not in any other plane. Is this point clear? Is this point clear? Yes or no? Is this point clear? What I am saying? Try to understand. There is one plane, another plane, right? I want a plane which is at an angle. It is not on the other side of the plane. Okay. So I want to show the forces, because whenever I go for equilibrium, I will be going for the equilibrium in terms of forces, not in the terms of stress. Not in the terms of stress. So if I find the force of sigma h, If I find the force of sigma h, it will be in the h direction, yes or no? Because the direction of the stress in the h direction. Repeating once more. If I find the force for sigma h, because sigma h is the stress, I will be finding the force when I multiply sigma h with the area. Yes or no? That is the area in which it is acting. That is ABCD area. Is it clear? That is ABCD area in which AB I told the thickness of T. Okay, AB I told the thickness of T. So I'm talking about this ABCD area over which stress sigma h is acting. Now since this force is pointing towards h, the stress is pointing towards h, so the force is also towards h only. So I'm showing it towards h. What is the value of force? Sigma h, area. What is the area? It is, I'm writing AD into T. Can I write? Yes or no? Can I write AD into T? Say yes or no. Yes or no. What is the area of ABCD? I can write it as AD into T. It's a rectangle. Okay. Now, what is the other force that is acting in the x direction? Look at the diagram. Look at the stress which is acting in the x direction. The direction of the stress will be showing the x direction. The point of the arrow mark which is pointing in the x direction, nothing but tau ix. Yes or no? Again towards right. So what I should write? Tau ix into area. What is the area of which it is acting? Nothing but GD into T. Is it clear? Is it clear? Now look in the y direction. Look in the y direction. What is the force acting in the y direction? Which you can see here. One is sigma y. Yes. That is what? Sigma y into GD into T. GD into T. Okay. Sigma y into GD into T. Next, tau hy is also pointing in the y direction. So if I find the force, it will be what? Tau hy into AB into T. Okay. Is it clear? I want to find the normal stress. Right. So see here. For the normal, what is the area? What is the area? AG into T. Look at the area. AG into T. Yes. And you can see the shear which is perpendicular. So that shear is tau h dash y dash into AG into T. So I have shown all the forces here. Okay. Now, can anyone tell me what is the angle this normal that is acting on the inclined plane is making with respect to x direction in the same plane? Yes. Can anyone tell me what is the angle sigma n force, sigma n when I multiply with the area that it become force, is making with respect to horizontal, right? That is with respect to x direction. Yes. Yes. It is theta or 90 minus theta. It is theta or 90 minus theta. Please comment in the comment box. It is theta or 90 minus theta. Yes. Theta or 90 minus theta. Let's see. See here. If I back project this, okay, then this angle, look at the diagram. If I back project this angle will be 90. Okay. So if I saying the downward angle as theta, then the other angle will be what? 90 minus theta. Yes or no? And this entire is 90. So what is the angle left? Nothing but theta. So the angle that you will get is theta. Is it clear? Is this point clear? So this angle is theta. Now I want to draw the equilibrium along the normal direction. I want to find the equilibrium of forces along the normal direction. Yes, for finding the normal stress, since a body is equilibrium, then the forces acting at that point must be in equilibrium. Yes or no? So for finding the normal stress, I am drawing the equilibrium in the normal direction, taking the equilibrium in the normal direction. Is it clear? So I am going to project the forces in the normal direction. So tau h dash y dash into ag into t. What is the value of tau h dash y dash into ag into t in the normal direction? Come on, can anyone say? Along the normal direction, I am taking the equilibrium. So what is the component of tau h dash y dash into ag into t in normal direction? Come on, fast reply. 0? Yes or no? It will be 0 because it is perpendicular to the direction and its component will be 0. Yes or no? Because cos 90 we are going to multiply, and that is nothing but equal to 0. Okay, see then. So that is your part, that tau h dash y dash is not going to play any role. Now I am taking the projection of sigma h, tau y h, tau h y and sigma y. So if this is theta, this part is 90 minus theta. Yes or no? So from here, if I take the component of sigma h, it will be sigma h into AD into T cos theta. Okay. If I take the projection of sigma y, it is sigma y into GD into T cos of 90 minus theta, which we say as sin theta. Okay. Next tau IH into GD into T cos theta. Yes or no? Next, projection of tau HY. So it is tau HY into AB into T. Again, cos of 90 minus theta, that is sin theta. Is it clear? So now I am going to balance the forces in the normal direction. So I can see that the 4 forces are acting upward and 1 force is acting downward. So these 4 forces is equal to this normal force in the inclined direction. Is it clear? Is this point clear to all? Yes. So what I am going to write, see here, what I am going to write, see, the sigma n into Ag into T, this will be equal to all the forces in the upward direction, that is sigma h into AD into T cos theta plus sigma y into GD into T sin theta plus tau YH into GD into T cos theta plus tau HY into what? Tau HY into AB into T sin theta. Any doubt till now, please ask. Any doubt till now, please ask. Any doubt till now, please ask. How we are balancing it, you should understand. How we are balancing it, you should understand. Yes, any doubt? Any doubt, please ask. Any doubt, please ask. Any doubt, please ask. Yes. Yes, any doubt? Any doubt, please ask. This is an analytical method, not a graphical method. Yes, any doubt? Any doubt in this equilibrium, sir? Is it clear? Okay, so now what you can see, T is common for all. Can you see that? So I'm cutting that. Now, in the next step, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide the AG throughout. Okay, I'm going to divide the AG throughout. So what I'm going to get, sigma h into AD by AG into cos theta, okay, plus sigma y into GD by AG into sin theta plus tau yx into GD by AG into cos theta plus tau hy into AB by AG into sin theta. Is it clear? Is it clear? So we have seen the triangle. Look at the above triangle which I zoomed out. ADG triangle where I have written cos theta and sin theta. Yes. So what value you are going to obtain? AD by AG we can write as cos theta and GD by AG I can write as sin theta. So it will become sigma h. AD by AG is cos theta. So I can write cos theta into cos theta, that is cos square theta, plus sigma y into GD by AG is sin theta. So I will be getting sin square theta plus tau hy. GD by AG is sin theta. So we'll get cos theta into sin theta plus tau hy. AB by AG is cos theta. So it will come cos theta into sin theta. Is it clear? So now look at this formula. So what you are going to get? Sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta. Now we know from the principle of equality of shear stress that for a perpendicular plane this tau hy will be equal to tau ih for the equilibrium to hold. Yes or no? So what I am writing here, this is plus tau 2 times tau hy into cos theta sin theta. Okay, so this normal stress is equal to sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Okay, so don't worry about this lengthy formula. You will be solving so many questions that you will remember each and every part of this formula. Okay, so you need to remember this formula although, but I am giving you guarantee that I will be letting you solve so many questions that you will be able to solve all the numericals. Don't worry about that. Okay, so wherever you are making the doing the rough, just write this formula of the normal stress so that you can solve the questions when I will be giving you. Right, so just write this formula. Sigma n is equal to sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt? Any doubt, sir? Any doubt? Sure? Sure? No doubt? No doubt? Okay. Let's see next. Let us draw for shear. We have found the value for the normal. Now we are going to find for the shear stress. Shear stress. So the first step is to show the forces in the x, y and the inclined direction. So let us show the forces again same way. H, y. In the h you can see sigma h into AD into T. Okay. Then tau yh into GD into T. Then sigma y into GD into T. Then tau hy into AB into T. This you have already seen here. AB into T. Okay. This is AD into T, right? This is AD into T. This is AD into T. AD into T. Okay, so that is tau hy into AD into T. Okay, so let us find the normal and shear also. sigma n into Ag into T, and the other side it is shear, that is tau h dash y dash into Ag into. Okay, now we know that we have to go for the equilibrium. So this is angle theta, right? So now I need to go for the equilibrium in the tau h dash y dash direction. Yes or no? So can anyone tell me what is this angle which I'm making in the direction which is along tau h dash y dash? So I want the angle with respect to y. So it is theta or 90 minus theta. So it is theta or 90 minus theta. Yes, it is theta or 90 minus theta. Anyone? It is theta. Very good. It is theta. So if I take the projection, this sigma y and tau hy, you can see in this direction. So I write in sigma y into GD into T cos theta, and here I am going to write tau hy into AD into T cos theta. Okay, is it clear? Next, if this is theta, the other is 90 minus theta. Yes or no? So sigma h and tau hy, you can see the projection in the direction of tau h dash y dash. So let me write that. So this is what? Sigma h into AD into T cos of 90 minus theta, that is sin theta, and tau yh into GD into T cos of 90 minus theta, that is again sin theta. Is it clear? Now we need to balance this. We need to balance this. We need to use the equilibrium equation for balancing. So what we can write? What we can write? Just balance this in the tau h dash y dash direction. So if you balance in the tau h dash y dash direction, the effect of normal stress on the inclined plane will be there. Yes or no? Come on, comment. The effect of normal stress on the inclined plane in the direction of tau h dash y dash will be there. Yes or no? Yes. Will it be there? Yes or no? No, it will not be there. Right. So let us balance it. So downward must be equal to upward. That I am writing tau h dash y dash into Ag into T plus tau yh into GD into T sin theta plus sigma h AD into T into sin theta. This is equal to sigma y GD into T cos theta minus tau hy AD into T cos theta. Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Yes? Any doubt? Any doubt till here? Sure? Sure? Yes? Any doubt? Okay, see then. So I can cancel t terms because t is common for all. T is common for all. Okay. Now just see the changes that I am doing. Tau h dash y dash I am writing as sigma y into GD by AG into cos theta. Sigma h I am taking to the right side, so it is minus sigma h into AD by AG sin theta plus, yeah, or we can write, okay, plus tau yh into AD by AG cos theta minus tau hy, or okay, this is tau yh, just a minute, This is tau hy AD by AG into cos theta and tau YH into GD by AG, this multiply with sin theta. Okay, any doubt in this part how we did? What I did, I have taken the term in the LHS apart from tau h dash y dash to the right hand side, yes, and I have divided by AG throughout. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, now what we know, GD by AG is sin theta, yes, and AD by AG is cos theta. We know this. So what frame you are going to get? Sigma y into sin theta cos theta minus sigma h into cos theta sin theta plus tau hy into cos square theta minus tau yh into sin square theta. Yes or no? Yes or no? So from here I can write, taking cos theta sin theta common, I will be getting sigma y minus sigma x cos theta sin theta plus I know that tau hy and tau yh are same from the equality of shear stress. So I'm writing plus tau hy cos square theta minus sin square theta. I can write this? Yes or no? I can write this. So from here what you get, tau h dash y dash, this will be equal to sigma y minus sigma h. What is cos theta into sin theta? Can I write this equal to sin 2 theta by 2? Yes or no? Can I write this equal to sin 2 theta by 2? Yes or no? Plus tau hy. What I can write? Cos square theta minus sin square theta. Yes, cos 2 theta. I can write this. Cos square theta minus sin square theta. What I can write? Cos 2 theta. Can I write, sir? Yes or no? Can I write this? Yes, we can. Okay. Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Any doubt till here? Any doubt? Just see the two formulas, or both the formulas are important. Both the formula very basic formulas. So any doubt in these two formula, please ask. Any doubt in these two formula, please ask. Any doubt in these two formula, please ask. These two formulas are very important, right? And I will give you the sign convention based on the derivation that we have done. Okay, based on the sign derivation that we have done, I will give you the sign convention. Follow those sign convention, and no need to see any other book solutions, right? Follow your solution, you will get the answer correctly. In the other book, what you will see in the, basically in the Indian authors, they take the theta with respect to horizontal, and if they take the theta with respect to the horizontal, so obviously the formula that you are getting will be different. Is it clear? Is it clear? Yes? Is it clear? Say here. Is this point clear to all? Okay. Okay then. So we have obtained the two formulas for finding the normal and shear stress on a plane inclined angle theta with respect to the vertical. Yes or no? So based on this, I will be giving you sign convention. Sign convention. Okay. So what does the sign convention say? See here. For normal, you have taken the normal in tensile. Yes or no? Say this is sigma h, sigma y. This was given as tau hy, and the other is tau yh. Okay. So let me draw the balance structure. This is tau hy. Other is tau yh, sigma y, sigma h. So this is a balance structure, and I'm taking a plane. This plane is at angle theta with respect to vertical. Okay. So these are the things that we have assumed. Okay. These are the things that we have assumed for calculation. So what you need to take the sign convention. Sign convention first for normal stress. For normal stress. So for normal stress, what I'm saying that tension is taken as positive and compression is taken as negative. Tension is taken as positive and compression is taken as negative. Okay. Tension we will take as positive, whereas compression we will take as negative. Next, for shear stress. For shear stress. So for the shear stress, look at the diagram. Look at the diagram in the vertical plane. So you can see that the tau hy is creating the clockwise moment. Yes or no? So what I'm going to say that in vertical plane, can see the vertical plane? Yes or no? In vertical plane, you can see that the shear is clockwise. So I'm saying the clockwise shear we will take as positive, whereas anti-clockwise shear, if the shear direction is opposite, so anti-clockwise shear, this we will take as negative. Anti-clockwise shear we will take as negative. Okay, so understood about normal and shear. Normal, I'm saying if it's a tension, it is away from the plane, it is tension. If it's towards, it is compression. So tension I will take as positive and compression I will take as negative. Next, I'm talking about the shear stress. So for the shear stress, what I'm telling, look in the vertical plane. So in the vertical plane, if it is, okay, just a minute. If it is anti-clockwise, you will take as, if it is anti-clockwise, you will take as positive. If it is clockwise, you will take as negative. Right? Please make this correction. Anti-clockwise shear, because it is anti-clockwise direction. So anti-clockwise shear you will take as positive and clockwise shear you will take as negative. Okay. Next, for theta. For theta, look at the theta. Theta you are taking with respect to the vertical. Theta you are taking with respect to the vertical, yes or no? And that too you are moving the anti-clockwise direction, right? So first of all, this theta should be given between 0 to 180, not more than that. This theta should be given between 0 to 180. Then second is your it is taken with respect to vertical. It is not taken with respect to horizontal, because if you take with respect to horizontal, entire equation will change. Okay. Next, I'm taking anti-clockwise rotation. Anti-clockwise rotation as positive and clockwise as negative. Clockwise as negative. So what I'm telling to you that what is the sign convention? See, there are three things that I'm mentioning this sign convention. First is the normal, second is the shear, and third is the rotation. Right? So normal, what I'm saying that tension is taken as positive and compression is taken as negative. For shear, what I'm saying that anti-clockwise is taken as positive in the vertical plane and clockwise taken as negative. Mind it is a vertical plane, it's not a horizontal plane, because if you go for the horizontal plane, the sign convention will change. Right? It will be opposite. So in vertical plane, this anti-clockwise taken as negative, anti-clockwise taken as positive and clockwise taken as negative. Right? If I'm talking for theta, theta is lie between 0 to 180 degree. With respect to vertical, I'm going to measure, and that too, if I move in the anti-clockwise direction, will take it as positive, and clockwise will take as negative. Any doubt, please ask. Any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt in the sign convention, please ask. Any doubt in the sign convention, please ask. Yes. Any doubt in this sign convention? Any doubt in this sign convention? Any doubt in this sign convention? Sure? Sure? Okay. See then. See then. Let us solve the first question. Question number 1. For the structural element shown in the figure, for the structural element shown in the figure, for the structural element shown in the figure, determine normal and shear stress. Determine normal and shear stress on an inclined plane, on an inclined plane AB. Okay, so let us see that. First, let me give you the structural element. So in the H direction it is 5 megapascal tensile. In the Y direction it is 4 megapascal tensile. And in the shear it is 3 megapascal. This is complete equilibrium diagram. This is complete equilibrium diagram. So I need to find the normal and shear stress on an inclined plane AB, on an inclined plane AB, that is at an angle of 30 degree, that is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to vertical, that is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to the vertical. Okay, it is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to the vertical. Yes, yes, it is at an angle of 30 degree with respect to the vertical. Okay, so this is given in the question. I don't want you to use the calculator. No need of calculator. This type of question is asked in the ESE objective B, where you are not allowed to use the calculator. You need to solve this question manually, right? So don't use the calculator. First of all, what is sigma h? First of all, what is sigma h? What is sigma y? What is tau hy? And what is theta for AB? You need to answer me this point. What is sigma h? What is sigma y? Tau hy and theta AB? Yes. Come on, say one by one fast. What is sigma h? What is sigma h? I'm saying the horizontal as h, vertical as y. So what is sigma h? Plus 5 or minus 5? Plus 5 because it is tensile. So it is 5 plus 5 megapascal. What is sigma y? What is sigma y? Yes, plus 4 megapascal. Yes. What is tau hy? What is tau hy? Plus 3 or minus 3? Plus 3 or minus 3? Plus 3. Very good. Theta AB, you are taking with respect to the vertical. Anti-clockwise positive, clockwise is negative. So it is plus 30 degree because it is anti-clockwise and taken with respect to vertical. So these values you obtain. Okay. These value you obtain. Now, I will write the formula over here because you have seen, most of you must have seen the formula once or might have seen before but didn't remember. So normal I am writing as sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta, right? So that is the formula for normal. For shear, what is the formula? Tau h dash y dash equal to sigma y minus sigma h sin 2 theta by 2 plus tau hy into cos 2 theta. Please solve it. Please solve fast. Please solve fast. We don't use the calculator, sir. Don't use the calculator. I will give you 2 minutes to solve. Okay, not a big deal. But don't use the calculator. Don't use the calculator. Don't use the calculator. Once you get the value of normal stress, write the value of normal stress in the comment, in the chat box. Yes. Get the value of sigma n and tau h dash y dash. Get the value of tau h dash y dash and sigma n. Once you get the value, please write in the comment. Once you get the value, please write in the comment. Yes. 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 Come on fast. Come on fast. Get the value. Get the value. Get the value. Get the value. Okay, see then. See then how to solve. How to solve. First, I'm showing you sigma n. If you haven't solved, okay, just see to it. I will give one more chance to solve tau h dash y dash. So sigma h is 5. Cos 30 is how much? Root 3 by 2. So I need to square that. Sigma y is 4. Sin 30 is 1 by 2 square plus 2 into tau hy is 3. Cos 30 root 3 by 2. Sin 30 1 by 2. So from here I get the value as 3 by 4 plus 1 plus 2 cancelled out. So it is 3 by 2 into root 3. Okay. So 15 by 4, that is how much? 3.75 plus 1 plus. Now 3 by 2 into root 3. See how we do the calculation in the ESE objective. Try to understand. 3 by 2 means what? 1.5. Okay. I want what? 1.5 into 1. Root 3 value is 1.73. Okay. So how to get this? We have to do the calculation manually. Okay. We have to do the calculation manually. So what is half of 1.73? What is half of 1.73? Yes. What is half of? Please reply in the comment. What is half of 1.73? Yes. What is half of 1.73? Around 0.86. Yes or no? Around 0.86. So if I add 0.86 to 1.73, so will it become 1.5 of 1.73? Yes or no? What I'm saying, that find the half of 1.73, which you can do it manually. That is 0.86. Now if I add 0.86 to 1.73, if I add 0.86 to 1.73, okay, so will it be equal to 1.5 times of 1.73? Yes or no? So add 1.73 with 0.86, so it will become 2.59. So what value you are getting? 9514, 8513, 7.34 megapascal. So this is the value you are obtaining. So see, this is the way we do the calculation, right, in the ESU objective without calculators. Is it clear? Next, come on, try the same way with tau h dash y dash fast. Try the same way with tau h dash y dash fast without calculator, sir. Without calculator. See, we have time. Don't worry, we have time. We'll go it slowly, but you should understand these tricks of solving the questions in the ESU objective. And it will be helpful for you even when you are appearing for the gate, because you can check whether your answer is correct or not. Yes. So sigma y you are getting as 4, sigma x is 5. Sine 2 theta, that is sine 60, which is root 3 by 2. Bottom there was already 2, plus tau xy you are getting as 3, and cos 60 is 1 by 2. So here you are getting minus root 3 by 4 plus 1.5. Okay. Now, what is the value of root 3? 1.73. What is the half of 1.73? 0.86. What is the half of 0.86? 0.43. So you got root 3 by 4. Yes or no? Root 3 by 2 is 1.86. Right. Divide by 2, that is root 3 by 4. So that you are getting as 0.43. So minus 0.43 plus 1.5. So this value you are getting as 1.07 megapascal. So you understood how we are using the calculation, how we are doing the calculations without calculator. Is it clear? So if you understood this, please hit the like. If you understood this, please hit the like and do one share. Right? It should be right. It is very different, right? Please share this video then. And if you learn something different right now, which you never know, which you have never applied, then a share is must. Yes or no? Okay. Okay. Okay then. Okay then. So this is one type of question that they used to ask in the objective. Okay. So any doubt? Any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt in this part, please ask. Sure, no doubt? Sure? Okay. Let us see the second question. Second question is nothing but find theta. Find theta for planes. Theta means the theta which I will be using for my normal stress and shear stress equation. Okay. So one plane is given. Is the first question. One plane is given, that is AB, and this is inclined with respect to horizontal at an angle of 20 degree. Okay. Second, in the first it is asked what is the theta AB. In the second, the plane is given in this form. Okay, let me draw it better. The plane is given in this form. This is the plane AB that is making an angle of 120 degree with respect to horizontal. Third, one plane is AB, the other plane is CD. Okay, AB plane angle is given as 20 degree. So you need to find theta AB and theta CD. and in the second you need to find theta AB. Okay, come on, try fast. Come on, try fast. You know you need to give the angle with respect to the vertical. If you go clockwise in the vertical, then it is negative. If you go anti-clockwise, it is positive. And you can give the angle only between 0 to 180. Right, so you can give theta either in positive or negative depending whether you are taken with respect to in the clockwise or anti-clockwise. Right, so please comment fast. Please comment fast. Yes, please comment fast. Please comment fast. Comment fast. Today there is a daily life engineering video coming up. Yes or no? At 11 a.m. Right? You will see the second episode of the engineering in daily life. So in which you will learn something different only. Okay, so just have a look at that. You will learn something. You will learn something. Second episode or third episode will be coming up. Right? Just have a look and enjoy the session. Just have a look and enjoy the session. Yes. Just have a look and enjoy the session. Okay. Get the answer fast. Anyone with the first answer? If you are writing, write in the form first, second, third, fourth. Right? Third, two part is there. So write first, second, third. Write in the comment box. Write in the first theta, second theta, third theta AB, theta CD value. So write in that form. Write in that form. Yes. Yes. You need to take with respect to the vertical. So for example, I am saying the first one. So for the first one, what you can do, you can draw a vertical with respect to the plane. Draw a vertical. So you can see that if one is 90, what is the other angle? It will be 70. Yes or no? It will be 70. So I've taken with respect to the vertical in the anti-clockwise. So the answer will be what? Plus 70. Answer is plus 70. Is it clear? Is this point clear? Now suppose someone is saying, no sir, I have taken the vertical at A. Okay, take the vertical at A. Now this angle is 90. So what is the total angle till the plane? That is 110. Yes or no? Now this 110 you are going the clockwise direction. Right? So you can also write either plus 70 or minus 110 degree. Both are correct. Both are correct. There is no issue in that. There is no issue in that. But make sure your theta should be between 0 to 180. Yes. Make sure your theta should be between 0 to 180. Now try the second question. Try the second question. Try the second question. Get the value. Try the second question. Get the value. Yes. Try the second question. Get the value. Try the second question. Get the value. Yes. Try the second one. Try the second one. Try the second one. Try the second one. Yes. So what is the answer? I'm taking with respect to the vertical. Okay. So what is this angle? What is this angle? So if you can take this as 60 and the other as 90, so that it will become 150. Yes or no? It will become 150. Right. So theta AB you can write as 150. 50 degree, or you might also have given with respect to the vertical, you are moving clockwise, so that clockwise is 30 degree. So you can also give minus 30 degree. Both are correct. Either you give 150 or you give minus 30, both are correct. Okay, now come on fast, go for the third one. Go for the third one. Theta AB, theta CD. First, you have to take with respect to the vertical. You have to take with respect to the vertical. You have to take with respect to the vertical. Find theta AB, theta CD. See, this is very basic. If you lag in this basic, it is very difficult to solve the questions, the bigger questions. You must have understand the way I am teaching. First, I will take from 0, then to the highest level. Okay. First of all, I need to clear your basics. Then only we can go for the bigger questions. If the basic is not strong, the base is not strong, then you cannot reap fruits in that. Yes, very simple, very simple. Construct a vertical. Okay, I'm passing the vertical through the intersection point. So what you are going to see, look in the diagram. This is 90. Yes or no? So if this is 90, what is the angle the AB makes with respect to the vertical in the anti-clockwise direction? Nothing but 70 degree. So if this is 70, the alternate angle will also be 70. I made it opposite side so that no, it's haphazard nature cannot see. Okay. So if total angle is 90 between D and the intersection point and B, so what is the other angle? Nothing but 20. Now see which is doing clockwise or which is going anti-clockwise. So AB plane is going clockwise or anti-clockwise? AB plane is going clockwise or anti-clockwise? Anti-clockwise. So it is positive, so it is plus 70. Okay. Now look at the CD plane with respect to the vertical. Theta is clockwise or anti-clockwise? Clockwise. So it is minus how much? 20 degree. Is it clear? Similarly, you can get 110 and 160 degree also. That's not a big deal. So any doubt in this question, please ask. Any doubt in this question, please ask. Have any doubt in this question how to find theta for the different planes, please ask. Otherwise, if you don't ask now, it is very difficult for the next part to understand. Yes, I'm explaining this third part again. What I'm saying, I've considered a vertical through the intersection, right? So first of all, AB is very easy. We have already seen the first question. Then for the CD, I'm taking the angle difference, that is 70, and the angle that the theta you are getting for the AB, right? So that you are getting as 20 degree, and since it is clockwise, so I'm taking minus sign. Is it clear? Yes? Okay. See then, let us solve the next question. Question 3. Question 3. So what is question number 3? What is question number 3? See. If I say horizontal x, vertical y, there is no z direction. Horizontal x, that is 80 megapascal, which you can see in x direction. Vertical is 100 megapascal. You should be very careful with the sign that I'm giving, right? This is 100, this is 80. And shear is given. This shear is 60 megapascal. Okay. Now, there are two planes given. One is AB, other is CD. Okay. And AB angle with respect to horizontal is given to you. It is 42 degree. Okay, so this is given in the question. You have been asked to find normal and shear stress. Find normal and shear stress on an inclined plane AB and CD. On an inclined plane AB and CD. Can you find, sir? Can you find? So first of all, what you need to write, what is sigma x, what is sigma y, what is tau hy, what is theta AB, and what is theta CD. First of all, you need to write this. First of all, you need to fill this. So please comment in the comment box or in the chat box. Right, those who are studying live, please comment in the chat box. Comment in the chat box. Comment in the chat box. What is the value of sigma h, sigma y, tau hy, theta AB, and theta CD? What is the value of sigma h, sigma y, tau hy, theta AB, and theta CD? Yes. Yes. Get the value of theta AB, theta CD first. Then only you can solve the question correctly. Otherwise, if your values are not correct, it's very difficult to get the correct answer. You are not going to get the correct answer, saying it properly. So first write what is sigma h, sigma y, tau hy, theta AB, theta CD in the comment box. First, I am waiting. Yes. Determine the value of theta AB, theta CD, sigma h, sigma y, tau hy. Sign convention you should remember. For normal, tension is positive, compression is negative. For shear in the vertical plane, anti-clockwise positive, clockwise is negative. Yes. So what is sigma h? Sigma h is plus 80 megapascal. What is sigma y? Minus 100 megapascal. What is tau hy? It is minus 60 megapascal. What is theta AB? You can draw the vertical. So this angle will become 48 and the other angle will become 42. So theta AB, since it is anti-clockwise with respect to the vertical, so plus 48 degree, and theta CD will be minus 42 degree since it is clockwise. Right, now you got the value. So I am going to find the normal and shear for AB and CD. So first I am going to write for AB. Yes, I want the AB, normal and shear. So what is normal formula? Sigma n is equal to sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Okay, and your tau h dash y dash, this is equal to sigma y minus sigma h sin 2 theta by 2 plus tau hy into cos 2 theta. So this you are going to apply for AB. Come on, solve. Come on, solve. Then we will see for CD also. Come on, solve. Get the value. Get the value. Get the value. I will told you that you will write this formula. Please, while solving the question, write this formula in your notes. You are going to remember. should write this formula in your notes in order to remember. Yes, come on, write fast, write fast, write fast. Write fast. Get the value, do the calculation properly. Do the calculation properly. Do the calculation, use your calculator. I am also solving along with you. Right. Sigma h you are going to place as 80. Theta you are going to place as 48. Sigma y you are going to place as minus 100. And tau HO you are going to place at minus 60. Just calculate properly. Go one by one. Don't be in a hurry to calculate. Right. Don't try to solve everything at once. You all are new. Right. So I'm getting the sigma n as 79.07 megapascal in minus sign. Just you also check, are you getting the same value for AB? Yes, are you getting the same value for AB? This is minus 100 minus 80 by 2 into sine 96 plus minus 60 into cos 96. Get the value. Get the value. See, I believe to calculate in front of you, right? I don't have any prior notes of with me, right? I don't have any notes. I'm teaching just with what I'm having in my brain. Okay, I have just a calculator in front of me. From that I'm doing the calculation. That too, I'm using the virtual calculator. I'm showing you. See, I'm using the virtual calculator, right? So I'm not using any scientific calculator. Reason being, in the GATE exam, it will always ask you the virtual calculator. So use the virtual calculator for the analysis. 26 sine into 90 is minus 89.5069. its cos. The value that you are going to get is minus 83.23 megapascal. Just check, are you getting the same value? Just check, are you getting the same value? Okay, let's see the next. So here it is 80 and the theta is minus 42. Okay, so minus 42 cos square into 80. So it is 44.1811. I'm taking till 4 digits so that no error is going to come. Sigma y I have taken as minus 100, right? So sine of 48 minus sine of 42 minus 42 minus 42. Okay, sine you are going to apply 42. Okay, sine you are going to apply, square you are going to do, then you to multiply with 100. So you get the value as minus 44.773 plus 2 tau, it's right. So 2 into minus 60 into cos of minus 42 into sine of minus 42. So the value that you are going to get is 42 cos into 42 sine. Okay, and this multiply with 120. So this value that you are going to get is plus 59.67. 44.1811 minus 44.773. So what value you are going to get? Minus 44.773 plus 44. 44.1811 minus 44.773 plus 59.67. So you are getting the value as 59.07. Just check whether you are getting the same result or not. Just check whether you are getting the same result or not. See, what I want that you get better in the calculations. That's why I'm not giving the result directly. I am doing the calculation along with you. Right. Next, sigma y is minus 100. Sigma x is 80. Sine of minus 84 divide by 2 plus tau xy is minus 60. Okay. Into cos of minus 84. Just look at it. Just look at this. Yes, just look at this. What you are going to get? This is 89.5069 in plus sign, and here it should be in minus only, I think. Okay, it says minus 90 into sine of minus 84. Next part is 84 minus cos into 60. Okay, so this you are getting as minus 6.2717. so if I subtract, I will get 89.5069. so I'm going to get, again the value is 83.23. just check whether your values are matching or not, right? Just check your values are matching or not. Just check whether your values are matching. I've done complete calculation for you to check whether at any step you are wrong or correct. So just check. If it's correct, please say yes. If it's wrong, then say no. See, I've solved this along with you. The reason being, I want you to solve the questions. Don't fear with the questions, right? That's why I'm solving the question along with you. I've solved the question along with you. So any doubt in this part, please ask. Any doubt in the calculations? Any doubt for theta? Okay, it's correct, right? Any doubt? Solve fast. Solve fast. Okay. Okay then. So I'm going to brief you about what is principal stress. Okay, we are not going to solve any questions or something like that. I'm just going to brief you that what is principal stress. Okay. So first of all, you should understand that the structural element. So you have seen the structural element, right? The structural element. Okay. You have seen this structural element. So the structural element that you are drawing is for the planes that is passing through the same point. Okay. So for example, if I say, if I take a beam, okay, if I take a beam and this beam is subjected to any loading. This beam is subjected to any loading, right? So if I take any point in a beam, then what you are going to see that if I analyze this point, then through this point, infinite number of plane can pass. Through this point, infinite number of plane can pass. Okay, and each plane have a definite value of normal and shear stress. Each plane have a definite value of normal and shear stress. Okay, are you getting my point? So what I'm saying, let me write this point. From any point, infinite number of plane can pass, each having definite value of normal and shear stress. So each plane will contain a normal and one shear stress. That may be zero, that is a separate thing, but it has a value, right? It can have a shear on that plane due to the applied loading. Okay, so from any point, what I'm saying, there are infinite number of plane that can pass, and each plane is having the definite value of normal and shear stress. Now, out of these infinite number of planes, there exist three mutually perpendicular plane. Out of these infinite number of plane, there exist three mutually perpendicular plane at which shear stress is zero. So what I am saying, out of these infinite number of plane, you can see three planes which are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, so if I say one is along horizontal, other is vertical, third is along z, so you can see that there is a three mutually perpendicular plane. Okay, now look at the ceiling at the top of me. Look at the ceiling at the top of me. So can you see that three mutually perpendicular planes are there? One line is coming down, yes, the other is going in the horizontal direction, right? So that is another, and third is going forward, yes or no? So these are three mutually perpendicular planes. Can you understand that? Look at the above, look at above of me, you can see that. You can see three mutually perpendicular plane. Can you see that? So if I say one plane is along x, along y, second is x, then third is out. Getting the point? X, y, z. These are three mutually perpendicular planes. So what I am saying that out of these infinite number of planes, there exist three mutually perpendicular planes at which shear is zero. There exist three mutually perpendicular planes at which shear stress is zero. There exists only normal stress. Okay, such a plane is referred as principal stress. So a principal plane, such a plane is referred as principal plane, and the normal stress acting on this plane is referred as principal stress. Are you getting my point? Are you getting my point? Yes or no? So what I'm saying to you that out of these infinite number of planes, there exist three mutually perpendicular planes at which shear stress is zero. Okay, at which shear stress is zero. So such a plane is referred as what? Principal plane. Okay, so shear has become equal to zero. So such a plane is referred as principal plane, and normal stress acting on such plane is referred as what? Principal stress. Is it clear? Yes or no? Is this point clear? So what I am saying that from these infinite number of planes, there exist three mutually perpendicular plane at which shear stress is zero. Such planes I am referring as principal plane, and the normal stress that is acting on the principal plane is the principal stress, right? So what is the property of this principal stress? This principal stress is the maximum or minimum value of normal stress. This principal stress is the maximum or minimum value of normal stress that can act at a point. You can see the point at which I'm talking. Look at the point at which I'm talking, the red dot that I've shown. Yes. So out of all the plane at which the normal stress is acting, when I talk about the principal stress, it is a maximum normal stress or the minimum normal stress that can act at a point. Is it clear? So what I'm writing about the principal stress? Principal stress is the maximum or minimum value of normal stress, value of normal stress that can act at a point, that can act at a point. Is it clear? So what is principal stress? The maximum minimum value of normal stress that can act at a point. Is it clear? Is this point clear to all? Yes or no? So in this, I have told two things about the principal stress, that it is the maximum and minimum value of normal stress, and it will act on a plane where shear is 0. Okay. So I will be proving this. Taking one into consideration, right? So in the ESE standard, what is said that you assume that the normal stress is maximum or minimum, right? And from that, prove that the shear is 0 on the principal plane. Okay, so let me prove that. So assuming, what I'm writing, assuming, okay, don't write that. We are considering that normal stress is maximum minimum, and depending on that, I'm finding the location of principal plane. Depending on the one point that I've taken, that is principal stress is the maximum or minimum value of normal stress, I'm going to find location of principal plane. See how? At the principal plane, normal stress is maximum minimum, right? And the general equation for normal is given by sigma h cos square theta plus sigma y sin square theta plus 2 tau hy cos theta sin theta. Okay, so this is the sigma n formula. Now for sigma n to be maximum, because we know on the principal plane normal stress that is acting is the maximum, which is referred as maximum minimum, which I am referring as principal stress. So for sigma n to be maximum, that means I'm talking about the principal stress. Yes or no? What I can do? D sigma n by d theta. For any quantity to be maximum minimum, what I'm going to do? I'm going to differentiate it and equate it equal to 0. Yes or no? So what I'm going to write? Differentiate this. Sigma h is constant, so it is out. Next, cos square theta, 2 cos theta. Differentiation of cos theta minus sin theta. Yes or no? Plus sigma y, sin square theta, differentiation 2 sin theta, and differentiation of sin theta is cos theta, plus, see, you can write this as tau hy into sin 2 theta. Yes or no? Because we know that sin 2 theta is nothing but cos 2 times cos theta into sin theta. So what we can write over there, right? What we can write? Tau hy sin 2 theta we can write as cos 2 theta, and the coefficient, that is 2. Is it clear? Is this point clear? Yes or no? Okay. So this I have equated equal to 0. Okay. So see here, what you got? You can see 2 cos theta sin theta in sigma h also, 2 cos theta sin theta in sigma y also. So we take this common, 2 cos theta sin theta. Then we are going to obtain minus sigma h plus sigma y plus tau hy, 2 tau hy into cos 2 theta. This is equal to 0. Yes or no? Yes or no? So from here, what I'm going to get, if I take the sigma x and sigma y opposite side, so I will get 2 tau hy into cos 2 theta. This is equal to sigma x minus sigma y, right? And I can write 2 cos theta sin theta as sin 2 theta. So from here, I will get tan 2 theta. That is nothing but sin 2 theta by cos 2 theta is tan 2 theta. So that is nothing but 2 tau hy upon sigma x minus sigma y. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay. So try to understand my point. In 2 dimension, in 3 dimension, you are going to get 3 principal plane. But in 2 dimension, you are going to get only 1 principal plane. Is it clear? In 2 dimension, you are going to get only, that means in 3 dimension, you are going to get 3 principal plane. But in 2 dimension, you are going to get only 2 principal plane. Is it clear? How? From here, you will get one value of theta p1. Okay. That is something that may you got. Right. So, suppose I'm drawing the structural element. Okay. So, if there is a principal plane that you obtain at angle of theta p1, then other plane will be at an angle of 90 degree. The other plane will be at angle of 90 degree. So, this I am saying as theta p2. So, what is theta p2? What is theta p2? Nothing but theta p1 plus 90. Is it clear? The third principal plane you cannot see in 2 dimension. If 2 planes you can see in 2 dimension, the third plane will be in the other side, because all the 3 planes are mutually perpendicular to each other. Is it clear? So third plane you cannot see in 2 dimension. I'm repeating this point once more. What I said, there are 3 mutually perpendicular plane, right? So if there are 3 mutually perpendicular plane, all 3 cannot be in the same plane. Yes or no? Suppose xy plane, yz plane, hz plane I'm talking about. So all 3 cannot be in the same plane. All 3 cannot be in the xy plane. All 3 cannot be in the yz plane. All 3 cannot be in the hz plane. If 2 is in the xy plane, then second need to be in the other plane. Third need to be in the other plane. Getting the point? So this formula I have obtained only for 2 dimension. So if this formula obtained only for 2 dimension, this is only for 2 dimensional, right? So I cannot use it for finding theta p1, p2, p3, all 3. I can use only for theta p1 and theta p2. Is it clear? So from this formula you are going to get theta p1, right? From there we are going to find theta p2. Is it clear? Is it clear? Got my point? Third plane is in the third direction, 3D, which you cannot determine from this particular formula, because this formula of normal stress is applicable only for 2-dimensional loading. It is not applicable for 3-dimensional loading. It is not applicable for 3-dimensional loading. Is it clear? Yes? Is it clear? Sure? Yes? So, further derivation we will see in the next class. We'll see the further derivation in the next class. So I hope you enjoyed this session of the principal stress and stress transformation, right? This very important topic for civil engineering and mechanical engineering students. Mechanical engineering students study this detail in the machine design. Yes. So I hope you enjoyed this session. I hope you get attached to this session. You get attached to topic the way you attach with SFD and BMD. Same way we are going to study here. So again, what I'm saying that, see, if you want to go for subscription, right, there is something different is there that we can't give in the YouTube. It's not possible. Reason being, the platform, the way in which we used to teach over there, the platform that is made in the YouTube, we have some restriction, because we cannot show everything in this part, not in the sense of teaching, but because of the technical issues. Digital platform is there where some issues is there, right? We cannot show everything here, right? But in the Unacademy Plus, we show all these things with some different pattern, right? So that you can see over here. See this. See, we are showing the 3D image. We are showing the 3D image over there, right? You are continuously posting your doubts over there. You can see us, that you can see here also, but that in that part you can see something different, right? In there, we suppose any question you are asking for the doubts, we give you the doubt clearance in the video form, so that it is easy for you to understand. There the leaderboard quiz is always going on over there. We always used to conduct the quizzes in the Unacademy Plus channel, right? So you can go for it, right? So how to go for the subscription? First, go to the app, select the goal, right? Then click on get subscription. So depending on which year you are, you can go for 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, or 24 month subscription, right? And if you like my teaching, use my code BHAR10, as my name is Abhishek Bhartiya. So Bhar comes from that Bhartiya term, right? Okay. And if you use my code, you will get 10% discount in your fees. Okay. You have the option of debit card, credit card, both. Group I already shared yesterday with the lecture, right? You can see over there. And please, all those who are new, please subscribe to the channel, so that more and more students can get benefited with this. Okay. Thank you so much for the class, for your time. We'll meet tomorrow. Till then, bye bye. Good day.